So welcome. I just want to quickly say that I have a background in Chinese medicine. Some of you know me, and I have a practice of teaching Qigong and Tai Chi, but I also do acupressure treatments and have studied Chinese medicine. So I know the meridians and the points, and whew, de-stressing during the holidays. Oh my gosh. So what I want to tell you is that, stress is good sometimes, and sometimes stress is bad. This was not good stress. But stress alerts us to, positively, it can alert us for danger or get us ready for, a presentation like this, or writing a paper, or getting on stage, or whatever it is, right? It can get you really highly alert. But what happens is when we go into overwhelm, then we can't function properly, and we're strained to the point where our resources get depleted. So with these pressure points, we can use them in one of two ways. We can either tap them or hold them. And I really want to encourage everybody to intuitively just take a moment and see where your body's at right now. And we're all sitting down. And I think you want to just start to breathe slowly. And okay, myself, I can see what you can see. So you want to take your palms, and with feet resting on the floor, breathe in to your body and let it rest and settle. And with your palms up, pull in more energy if you need it. And then if you have too much and you're over anxious, or maybe you're just running around and you still feel like your head is running the show, take your palms and place them on your thighs, and let's just relax with some slow, deep breaths, okay? 3 long, deep breaths, and it'll help me get a little bit clearer, more present. We can be here in the moment. Close your eyes and drop in to what's going on with your own body. Okay, hands on your belly. Let's get centered. So when stress is too much for your body, it can show up either physically, psychologically, or emotionally, right? And when it does, we want to sort of empower ourselves with knowing something of a lot of to calm that down, either to disperse the energy or add energy to. So think a minute how your physical body can get stressed out, right? There's a lot of different ways. You can get aches and pains from overstrain, or you can get nauseous, headaches, dizziness. You can, have your immune system get weakened. Just going over all the different things you can go over. You can have digestive problems, or anxiety. Actually, that's more like psychological. It can even affect your functioning of all the different organs, right? And then psychologically and emotionally, we can get into grief and depression. We can feel fear, anxiety. The stress can exacerbate anger, overthinking, keep you up at night with overthinking, extreme confusion or mental loss. So when these things become chronic and you become depleted or off course, then we want to bring our breath and center our body for a minute. And I want to encourage you to write down whatever you feel sort of hits you, something that's going on that, something that resonates with you right now that might be really perfect and you don't want to forget it. But if you've registered for this workshop and we have your email, then just let Lisa know, get back to her if you haven't registered with your email. And I'm going to send out all the points for tapping and also for holding. So first we'll go into tapping. We're going to start at the top of our head and slide down so that your hands are right behind your neck at the base of your skull. So this is good for if you have headaches or you're feeling a little confused or mentally. I can hear somebody who's got feedback. Like, okay, you want to go ahead and mute yourself if you can. So right here, we want to tap lightly. So we're going to start tapping here. And this is going to dispel agitation. Sometimes this is really good for anger. It's good for headaches. It's good to bring in clarity, okay? Sometimes when the wind hits you too much back here, it can also cause a stiff neck. If you've been coughing a lot, this is a nice point to start with. If you've had a cold or flu, this is also a good point. It brings energy up to the brain, okay? And then just relaxing. We're going to use our palms, our fingers, and whatever tapping pace that you want to do. You don't have to go as fast as me, okay? So the next one we're going to do is emotional release. And right below your clavicle, this is called the Avenue of the Ancestors, and it can hold a lot of old stress and trauma and emotional trauma that you're just dealing with right now. And just tapping here can help release that. It also helps with shoulder stiffness and pain. If your emotions are running the show and you want to balance that out, just calm it down. This is a nice one to just come back. Also too, it's good for your throat. If you have any unspoken feelings, this is a good one to do. If you've been holding back things that you need to say. So this is a big one for emotional release, but it's also really good for the immune system, because it's very close to the lungs. And we're going to come out to the lungs now. This is good for your respiratory, clearing any phlegm, excess phlegm, helping with breathing if you have shallow breathing or shortness of breath. It also helps bring in, on a spiritual level, it helps bring in some integrity, helps with boundaries. So I'll be telling you things that affect the spirit too, which is really important. And then we're going to come down to points right here in the top of your shoulder. Hold up your elbow, and you're going to use the blade of your hand and just tap there at the high point. You can move your arm back and forth with your elbow and just do it comfortably. Maybe tilt your head to the side. So this is your gallbladder meridian. This runs up and down your back. This is good to increase flexibility. So sometimes when we have aches and pains, it's due to the fact that the tendons are tight. And let's switch over to the other side, get both sides. This also helps ground your energy. If you feel like you've been like really flighty, running around everywhere in your head, you're not in your body, this helps ground you. Okay. Helps to send the energy. It also can help with headaches too. Brings in clarity into your mind. And relax. Let's go to our rib cage down here, and right along the edge of the rib cage, we're going to tap from the sides to the center. This one's a really, really good one for boosting your immune system. Okay. And as we boost our immune system, it also helps with our breathing, with the diaphragm. So it helps you get some releases fatigue that might get stuck in the body here. boosting the immune system is really good. And let's come on up. We're going to come on up to the center here at the heart point, but also in your sternum. This one helps build white blood cells. Great for your immune system, strengthening the blood, nourishing the blood. It's also good for your heart, to calm any anxiety you might have in your heart. If you start feeling like your heart's racing, this is a nice one to do. And maybe you can breathe into it so you can relax your rib cage. And then we're going to come down to our belly. So the belly is also called your sea of chi. This is your creative center. And what happens is, you know, if you have stuckness down here, or it needs energy, just doing circles like this helps balance out the yin and yang. Helps bring you back to your center, and so that has a very grounding effect too. This can help if you follow the direction of coming up on the right, across and down the left. It can help increase digestion, help your colon. And if it's you know, it's running too active, just do the reverse. So nausea can be you know, a sign from anxiety, or it can be physical. So this direction of following the direction one way or the other is really nice to be able to use. Now we're going to take soft fists and come down to just below your knee. So not in the front where the bone is, and not on the bone here. You're going to come right below the knee off to the side, and we're going to tap lightly. Okay, this is called leg 3 mile. This one's good for boosting vitality in your whole body. If you have any knee problems, this is great for that. If you're out exercising and you get very, very tired, this is going to increase the energy. So we're tapping right here. Okay. And nice and light. Okay, and we're also gonna do some more for the immune system right here, right where your elbow is, but below the elbow, right where you bend. And see where my fingers are right here? This is good for your large intestines. This is your large intestine meridian. It's also great for the immune and letting go. I think for some reason okay. My doorbell is ringing. Okay, so tapping here. Let's do both sides. So the thing with the points on one side or the other, you don't have to do both points or both sides, but it's nice to equal out, you know, the energy on both sides of your body. Great for your immune system, letting go and releasing. It's also, let's see, somebody else. It's good for your digestion. And we're going to go down to the kidney points around the feet. So you want to bring your foot up, and right on the inside here, right there, nice socks, just tap there. So you can use your hand, and you can hold on to your knee or under your leg, whatever feels better, but we're relaxing our foot. And so this kidney point right here is it's also really good for relieving headaches. It helps strengthen the bones. And if you're having trouble sleeping, sometimes tapping this can help too. Okay, and then we're going to tap under here. This is kidney 1. And so this point right there, just tapping the ball of your foot here. Nice relaxed foot. Great for grounding. Okay. And also help center your body and relax. Let's do both sides. So we're going to do our ankle, helping with headaches, bone strength, and then underneath, kidney 1. All right, and relax. So, so far, all those points have been for a lot of physical things, right? But a lot of times we can get off because our spirit is out of alignment. And a lot of people don't realize that when that happens, when we're off path, or we've been overstrained for so long, we need to come back to what they call the central channel. Okay, so we're gonna tap those points going down the central channel. And this is a nice one when there's been some emergency or some really extreme situation, or you're just at a point where you feel like you're going to completely lose it. Then you want to sit, breathe a little bit, and then start what they call the Byway Point. This is where you're connected, right? It's a opening. Intuition comes in here. And so we want to just lightly tap. It's kind of comforting, like a nice comforting tap right there at the top. Okay, this is a governing vessel. And we're going to bring it down to the conception vessel. We're going to connect the two. But when you tap, go ahead and see if you can let go slowly and feel this all the way down to your feet. We're bringing the body into alignment. So you want to imagine that this energy of white light is coming in and releasing any disturbances and just energizing. And then you want to come here to your third eye area. Let's put one hand on the belly to draw that energy down. And we're going to tap here, we call it the Ming Tong point. This welcomes in the intuition. You want to send it all the way to the back of your head. It helps bring in clarity, calms the head, the brain, increases relaxation and opening. An opening, being open to things, uncluttering your mind. And we're going to come down here, right below your nose, okay? And use your middle finger if you can, right for the center there. And as you come into this little deep valley, if you will, tapping here helps with memory. It's also helping connect the right and left hemisphere of your brain. So we're helping to access, when you get confused because you can't remember, and sometimes that happens when you're panicked. This is a nice one to bring you home. And then we're going to come down here to our chin. Sometimes jaw clenching happens when we're stressed out. This is a good one for that. So you want to relax your jaw, let it come down and open. And again, as fast or as slow as you want. And then we're going to go down here for the throat. This is good if you've been coughing a lot. Helps increase the energy. It helps also nourish the thyroid. And just like these points down here, it also helps with shoulder pain, neck stiffness. And we're going to come down here to the heart. Opening up the heart, relieving any anxiety or panic. strengthening your pericardium meridian too, that area that brings you some confidence and feeling nourished. Let's come down to our solar plexus. This is your willpower. Helps build courage in the body and the ability to do. This helps with functioning of your spleen, building strong boundaries, your ability to do. And then we're going to come down to 2 fingers below your belly button, tapping here. Let's use both hands. This is centering and opening up your creativity and grounding. Feel your legs relax and release and really ground all the way down to your feet. So I'm talking a lot about grounding because stress can really be elevated yang experience. And so we want to come back to a nice relaxed yin, building the yin in our body. And let's relax and just take a nice deep breath and stretch your arms out, reaching all the way up. Bring that energy slowly just through the top of your head. Encourage those connection of all these points. Closing your eyes and just feeling if there's any difference or shifts in your body, feeling more centered. You should feel more balanced and centered now, but deeply calm. Okay, so that's a nice way to calm. And then each one of these points you can also hold if you just feel like holding them, So that's something you just have to tap in with your own intuition, feeling each one of these. And maybe, closing your eyes. And you can shift back and forth a little bit and, release stuck energy at the bottom of your spine all the way up to the top of your head. And come into your heart. And feel as if you're dropping drops of vitality into these pools, and they're just spreading out through your body. Come down to your solar plexus. So it's not just a point, it's radiating out. And then below your belly. All right. So it looks like everybody is on mute, but if anybody has any questions, we'll take them at the end. But right now we're going to move into points. So points are like it's a little bit more of a zip, like a zap to an energy system that's connected to a certain organ. Okay. So what happens is we're going directly into the organ. We're going to start with this one because this one brings calm. And it's right in the middle of your palm. If you drop your middle finger to the center and just hold it, your middle finger will feel like it's coming down a little bit. This point right here is the pericardium, which is the muscle that surrounds the heart, protects the heart. So it's a lot about protection. So this is a very comforting, nurturing, mothering feeling where you can just give yourself energy and, hold it. You don't have to hold it very hard. If you're slightly off, it doesn't matter. Your intention means a lot, and your body will pull it into where it should go. Okay, so I wouldn't worry being exact, but sometimes if you kind of fish around with these points, you can sort of feel like you're gravitating, to where the right one is. And right now I'm using my thumb because it's easier, but a lot of times I'll use my middle finger because our body's electrical system is set up so that your middle finger sends out actually more energy. Okay, so let's do both sides. Calming. Oh, this is a great one for panic. If anything's happened that's real, like say, God forbid, a car accident. Or if you feel like someone else's energy is pulling you off balance, this is a nice one to do to recenter yourself. Okay, bring your energy back to you. And this is called the Labor Palace. The Labor Palace. It's where your heart goes to work. And now the next one we're going to do is very, very common. Probably everybody knows this. It was in the flyer picture. And this one is where, when you bring your thumb together, this is called, the large intestine point, the Great Eliminator. So the Great Eliminator, I like to hold it with my thumb also and kind of press into it and relax your hand. It's better to relax your hand or wherever it is that you're holding a point. Now, this Great Eliminator is really notoriously good for relieving joint pain and headaches. It's anti-inflammatory for some muscles and tendons. But generally, overall, it takes away pain in the body. If you're sitting in the dentist chair, this is a great one to hold. It'll help not only take your mind off of what's going on here, but it actually does decrease the pain. I've had people tell me that it really helped a great deal. As soon as they started doing it, they noticed a difference. So this works. They all work. Yeah, so this is a good one for pain. Let's do both sides. And if you feel like like maybe that muscle's super, like, tight, you might want to disperse it. And by doing little circles, you can disperse excess energy. Okay, when we hold it, we're sending deep energy to that point, and we're tonifying it. It doesn't mean that we're adding to the headache, we're actually draining the headache. And now we're going to do something for the sinuses. So if you come from the center here and you go all the way out to where your pupil is, and then let's just hold our middle finger there, because that's a good one. Then we're going to drop down with one, this is called coupling points. So holding right below your cheek up into that, where the cheek meets the other bone of your jaw, your jaw here. You're going to hold both and send a nice connection between both points across. See, we're going across the nasal area. This is great for sinuses, respiratory. If you've been crying a lot, this is a nice one to just open up the sinuses and help with breathing. It also helps with mental tension and digestion, because this is the stomach point and this is a gallbladder point. This one wraps up and around to the back of your head, that first point that area we tapped. So these points together, you want to just kind of hold them. I'm relaxing my arms as much as possible. Maybe you want to lean this arm on a table or a desk, and then so you can just feel the difference. See if you can feel things start to change and shift. So you might want to move your fingers around like there were searchlights going inside, and kind of finding just that perfect spot that helps them connect. And you feel like this is opening up, this opening, I like these 2 points together. And then we're going to go down to our leg, and right above, about, if you go to your ankle, the top of your ankle bone, about 3 fingers, okay? You're going to come up to behind the bone, okay? And then holding a few fingers here, let's rest our leg on our thigh and just press in there. Or take your thumb maybe and press it. It's going to be a little zingy, okay? So most people zing with this one. And the reason why is because it's called a 3-yin crossing. And this is where your kidney, your spleen, and your liver meet. So this one's very nourishing. If you feel really depleted, you haven't been eating right, maybe something's going on with your blood. You have some blood disorders, like PMS, but if there's anything going on with your blood, this nourishes the blood. It also helps to send energy down to your feet. It can help with so many imbalances in these three organs. So it's nice they get to talk to each other here. So this is a great point for so many issues dealing with physical problems. Okay. Let's see. Some muscle tension, but let's see, what else is this good for? Vitality, really good for vitality. And this is also good for dizziness. If you're feeling dizzy, and you're kind of tripping around, might be something with your kidneys. Maybe you're just, that fatigue that sets in. And then let's do both sides, because this one's such a dynamic one. This is like really like a superstar point. So if you feel along the inside of your of the bone there, just kind of feel along with your thumb until you go, wow, that's the most highlighted, zingy one. Okay, then you got the 3 yin crossing. This is also good for knee, lower back pain, believe it or not, lower back pain and knee pain, which makes sense. It's also good for insomnia, especially if the kidneys are off and fatigued and your mind is just loose like a kite. This helps to get rid of insomnia. Okay, and now we're going to go back to this is also a superstar point, going back to gallbladder 20. So right here in the hollow, right, on both sides, we're going to take our thumb as if you're holding up your skull, okay? That you can almost lift up your skull. You're going to take the pads of your thumb and just kind of nestle them in there. You can do little circles. It feels really good. See if you can find the tendon and relax your neck. So your fingers can kind of just softly nestle back in there. This is good to relieve headaches. It's also good to calm the spirit. This is a great one for calming the spirit, sort of bringing all those nagging mental gymnastics that you're doing to an end. Helps bring in some clarity. If you have neck stiffness, helps with that. Helps with the brain too. Benefits your eyes as well. In fact, if you do have any eye strain, you can take your thumb and instead of using the pad, turn and angle your thumb so the tips are aimed straight at the opposite. So this side is aimed at this eye, the back of the eye, and then this side is aimed at that one. So you're crisscrossing. And you want to bring your neck up and down so it feels like a point where you can kind of get somewhere that feels good. Right? Holding that. With all of these, you want to take a few long, deep breaths. Maybe close your eyes. And please don't press too hard. This one can also kind of knock if you have neck issues, you can knock your atlas and axis off a little bit, okay? If you have any neck issues, just stick with just holding softly. So nausea also happens a lot with any kind of stress. If blood isn't moving or you're anxious, there's all kinds of reason for nausea. Maybe you ate something and you're stressed out because you ate something that wasn't good for you. It's maybe slightly poisonous or whatever. So we're going to do anti-nausea, and that's right. It's right here on your wrist. If you go 4 fingers down from where you bend, right where the creases are, go 4 fingers down. And we're going to take 1 finger and go between the bones here. And then let's put our thumb there, okay? And then come around to the other side. And these 2 bones here, also 4 fingers down, opposite. So you've seen those wristbands, they actually work. And this is good for centering the body. So you're accessing your triple heater meridian here, that is the energy system that goes from head to toe. And it's also, here is your pericardium. Okay, so we're calming the body down and allowing it to let go of whatever it needs to let go of. It's a great harmonizer. It's a really good harmonizer. Works the center of your body beautifully to just let everything get back into homeostasis. Okay. So it doesn't matter if it's just, if you're on a boat, say, and you get nauseous, this works so wonderfully. But for mind, body, and spirit, it's a real good balancer too. So it's nice to bring us back to our spirit in a nice balanced way. Okay. And then we're going to go also to relieve nausea. You can also press here and hold on to your belly with the center of your palm here, right 2 fingers below your belly button. You want to aim right there. It's important to be right there because this is your the energy center of your body. And then right here, where we're, the memory part, remember, accessing clarity. This also is good. And a lot of these points are good for so many things. I could go on and on, but we're just focusing on de-stressing. So this is a nice one for nausea too. You want to breathe into your belly, up to your shoulders or up to your rib cage here, and then back down again. Nice wave-like breath, in and up. In, expanding all the way up, and then exhaling all the way down, okay? It's a great one. Okay, and let's see, the last part of this, what I want to talk about is emergencies. Sometimes, like I said, you can overstrain and overwhelm, and that's chronic over time and you're depleted. But sometimes things happen that are emergency, right? Car accidents, heart attacks, comas, people go into strokes, different things like that. Well, sometimes for around people where you think that maybe their heart is really out of whack and you want to help them. This is something that it's hard to do on yourself. So this is something that you can help somebody else with. We want to calm the person down. So if you think that they might be having a heart attack, you want to put both your hands here on their shoulders and just press down and tell them whatever you have to tell them to calm them down. And then you're going to put 2 fingers here on their pinky finger, or a small pinky finger, and you want to get it on both sides of the nail. Okay, so not on the fingernail, but both sides of the nail here. This is a heart point. It's a direct heart point that covers the front and the back of the heart. And holding this with one hand, so you can't do it with yourself. You'd have to, and then pressing down the shoulder at the same time. So ideally you want to do this to the left side, and just ask them to breathe with you. Okay, so those are emergency points you can use. Another one for, say somebody goes into shock, they pass out and you're waiting for help, or you want to keep them from going into a coma. This is really extreme, but what you want to do is go back to that foot point where we were tapping before. Remember, it's very grounding. It's the beginning of your kidney meridian. If you push into that as hard as you can actually help bring somebody out of a coma. So you might want to just push in with a whole bunch of fingers just to make sure that you're in the right place. So, and you don't have to do both sides, although it helps. Put one thumb on one side, one thumb on the other, and hold it, and maybe go up and squeeze the big toe too. Okay, So I want to just take some time here to answer questions and see how everybody's doing. We don't really have a whole lot of time. Maybe Lisa, I don't know if we can go over time a little bit if people want to stay.
We can go over a little bit since we started late. If anyone has to jump off, of course, we understand.
So does
But
anybody
we
have
do have some time.
Okay. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to.
I'll start. I have a question.
Okay.
How do you know whether you should be tapping with like your fingertips or more of a cupping? Does it matter really, or is it where it is on your body, or whatever feels good?
Okay, yeah, somebody else was asking that in the chat. So how long do you press, and what's the difference between fingertips and cupping palms? So first of all, it doesn't, I want you to use your intuition because everybody's different. Sometimes people feel like the fingertips have more power, intention, and direction because where your mind goes, the energy is going to flow. Okay, that the chi, the energy is going to flow there. So if you are mindful and you're tapped into your intuition, maybe this feels better than doing this. It's up to you. But when you do the cupping with your palm slightly in, you're doing sort of a drawing. So you're pulling energy away from the body. So it's really good to disperse the energy. And I would say that tapping more directed is when you're really trying to access that meridian, and you're also adding some more energy there. All right, so it's a lot more yang, it's a lot more directed, and doing this sometimes is a little bit more comforting and yin, nurturing. And it's also, some muscles like it better, and it depends on your posture and your range of motion. Like if you're doing here, we're tapping with our blade, can't reach, just tap here. And as far as the timing, I would say, don't do it so that you're going to leave a mark, and also because you don't want to bruise yourself ever. And so depending on how hard you're holding, when you get to a point of breathing and you feel like you're done, but if you're doubtful and you don't really know, I would say 3 minutes is a good overall general timing. 3 minutes. And if you don't have a lot of time and you want to go through a bunch of points, then a minute, like 30 seconds to a minute. You can really affect a lot of change, if your body's, you've shaken your body out a little bit and you grounded with some breath, sat and relaxed and used your breath to open up your body and kind of quiet yourself down for a minute. Anybody else have any other questions? It's good to see y'all. So I want to thank y'all for coming, and I'm I don't know what happened. I think some people got lost with that link, but I'm glad that a lot of you made it on. This is great.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us and hanging in there with us while we got that Zoom problem sorted out. If you'd like the list of points, you can email me, which is in the chat, or just call the library and ask for me, and we can speak on the phone and I can get your email that way. But I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season, and when you're running around and think you're not going to get everything done on time, I hope you'll remember some of these tapping techniques, or at least remember to pause and take a few deep breaths, which is also very good. Good way to just recenter. So
thank you, Lisa, for putting this together for us too.
You're very welcome.
Thank
you
you
so much.
your face.
Have a great night.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Happy